Hello everybody, this is Cameron Snow again, and we're continuing our video series on geological risking for exploration drilling. So in this video, we're going to take a little bit of a tangent, and we're going to talk about one of the areas where I see companies waste a lot of effort and energy and really fail in a lot of cases. And what we're going to be talking about specifically is why you need an exploration database as part of your risking process. So if you remember in the last video, we showed kind of a brief snapshot here of what an exploration portfolio may look like. You have a number of prospects. You have both the risked and unrisked volumes in there. And of course, you would have all the background information from these prospects available to you so you could understand, the chance of success, the common risk, etc. Um, Now, it may seem obvious to you when I say it that you need a database of your exploration prospects if you're going to build up a portfolio. However, this is an area where I see companies fail time and time again. So a lot of times, risking is done essentially just in an Excel spreadsheet. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but what ends up happening is companies end up having dozens and dozens of spreadsheets. As you are probably all too familiar with if you work in a company of any size at all, is you'll end up having some of those documents on someone's personal computer, or their desktop computer. You'll have some on the corporate network drive. Maybe they're not all in the same folder. Maybe some people have put them in one area. Maybe some have put them stored in an area you wouldn't expect, and so you end up with just kind of a data management nightmare. Now, a lot of people on the IT side are going to say, "Oh, we can fix this through having a better, information management system." But a better information management system will eventually lead you to the conclusion that you need a database for this, and your database should not be Excel. Um, and here are some reasons why you need a risking database beyond just the complications of, it being hard to manage otherwise. First, your risk assessments are living documents. Um, these are things that should be revisited, and because of that, you want to have the latest information on that prospect at your fingertips. So, why do I consider these to be living documents that you're going to go back to over and over? Well, first of all, when you drill a well, it's very critical that you be able to go back and look at your risk assessment and say, okay, I had this well as a 50% chance of success and it succeeded. Was there a reason, that I assigned the risk this way? Or, maybe it was a 20% chance of success and it succeeded. You need to be able to go back and evaluate, was I unnecessarily harsh on this well? Or maybe the other scenario, you had a 70% chance of success and it failed. You need to be able to go back and say, all right, was I overconfident? And if so, why? Why did I, believe that the structure was going to come in when perhaps it didn't? Why did I believe that there was going to be reservoir present and perhaps there was none? So it's important uh, to be able to revisit the documents for that reason. The other reason is that as you acquire more data, you are going to want to revisit your prospects and update the risk. So, for example, maybe you acquire more seismic data. Maybe you go from a 2D si seismic survey to a 3D seismic survey. Well, you're obviously going to go through the trouble of remapping and reassessing volumes, but you should also reassess the risk on that because now you're going to have significantly higher certainty due to the nature of the data being more dense. Maybe you've gone through and you've reprocessed old seismic data. Okay, well you're hopefully getting some uplift out of that. Maybe a competitor has drilled an offset well and has made a discovery. You know, maybe this helps de-risk the source rock or charge. Maybe it helps de-risk reservoir presence or quality. So that's important to know. So it's important that you be able to revisit your risk assessments. And if you're going to revisit them, you need to be able to find them, and you need to ensure that you're on the latest iteration of that risk assessment. So that's reason number one. You know, the second reason is that databases are essentially the foundation of your exploration portfolio. Without a real database, you're not going to be able to put together a view like this that's comprehensive. You're going to end up having a fragmented view. So, you know, the goal of building out this portfolio is it should be very inclusive. It should allow you to take a snapshot of what your drilling inventory is, and should allow you to really understand, you know, what your exploration portfolio consists of. And a comprehensive database system is critical to this. It's really the foundation of this if you want to be able to have that comprehensive view. Otherwise, you're going to be at the mercy of being able to find a number of spreadsheets and then pull those spreadsheets together into some other spreadsheet, perhaps, to summarize that. And then you're going to have to start updating things in multiple places. And so that's why it's better to have it all in one area at the beginning. And as we've mentioned many times before, uh, you know, we need to, you know, we're going to have to choose which wells to drill. And that means we need to be able to effectively compare our prospects. We need to be able to compare the risk and the volumes and get an understanding of, you know, how this is going to play out for us. So, you know, that is another strong selling point for for having an exploration database. And the last reason is really for a technical reason, and for one that helps us think strategically in terms of the subsurface risk, which is databases can help us identify when we might have systematic biases or themes across our portfolio. So, for example, if you have a database that you're able to query, you might be able to go in and very quickly say, all right, you know, what is the predominant risk factor across all of these wells? Ah, I see that, you know, it's source rock, or it's structure, or it's reservoir presence. And that can maybe highlight a couple of things. Maybe it tells you, hey, there are areas that you need to concentrate on de-risking. You need to concentrate on better understanding the source rock system so that, you know, that is less of a common risk across your entire portfolio. Or maybe it tells you, all right, you know, we have not been acquiring as much seismic data across our prospects as we should. That's the key driver of risk. We need to get better at acquiring seismic data and allocate capital towards that part of our exploration portfolio. Or maybe it tells you that, you know, your interpreters are very confident on a couple of pieces of the hydrocarbon system, but maybe not on the other. Maybe they are, you know, putting an unnecessarily high risk on something like, you know, reservoir presence or quality, or an unnecessarily low risk on some things because they're overconfident and they're not fully accounting for that. And having a risking database can help you identify where there are these types of systematic risk or biases in your portfolio. All right, so I just want to end this by making a shameless plug for GeoRiskX, which provides you with a exploration database. It's a risking system that allows you to determine your risk, calculate your risk volumetrics and the range of volumetric outcomes, and puts those in a nice portfolio view such as what you're seeing here up above. All right, I hope this was useful, and in our upcoming videos, we're going to dive into how you actually perform a risk assessment.